I don't know what it is today, bro, but I just feel like talking, man. This is video number 3, dog, and I just like my mind is just running rampant, man. 2016 was the hardest year of my life. My young life, it was the hardest one, man. I went through a lot of shit, a lot. 2016, 2017, I say, and I just had like a really these last 7, 8 years since I've come into the knowledge, things have just like been fucked up. To be honest with you, 2016 was by far the hardest. Last year was pretty bad too, but 2016 trumps that, and it was at my weakest point where I was just like, fuck it, just come and take me, man. I was just like, I don't want to do this shit no more. I just thought about killing myself, bro. I was just like, I'm done. Take me. I think I've cried every tear I've ever had out starting 2020. I don't think I can feel much more. I don't think anything could get worse than it has in my life. And, like I talked about the other day, where I was talking about strength, man, I was just like, sometimes it just, it just comes from out of nowhere. And this year, and I don't just mean 2020, I mean this year, last June to now, so exactly a year, my life has transformed so much, and it came from a belief. That the worst heartbreak story that I put out, part 1, I will put out the rest of part 2 too. Part 1 is, that happened to me last year, bro. That happened to me around this time last year. And I never would have thought that, the same cucks I talk about, I never thought that that would be me. I never thought that that would be my life, that I would feel that strongly about somebody, and I did, bro. I was blind. And I was so weak, man. I was just like, I cannot go on. Because it was more than the female. I was humiliated. I was embarrassed. I felt like I lost a part of my manhood, man. I was just like, I felt betrayed. I was lied to. It was just the sinister anger inside of me and a sadness for myself. And it was just like a distrust for everybody and everything, bro. It happened right at the point where I needed to change. And like I told you, it was just like thing after thing after thing that told me to leave, and I wouldn't. I went against Yah's wishes. I went against everything that he told me, and he was like, you know what, motherfucker? I bet. I got you. And he showed me. She removed herself from me since I wouldn't let her go. I was having dreams, bro. I was having visions of this bitch cheating on me. I was having visions of this bitch doing things, man. I had a dream. I don't know if I talked about this in the last video or not, but I had a dream where I was being approached by a snake. I picked it up, it wrapped around my arm, like suffocated the shit hard. Like, it like pierced my fat like that. You know what I'm saying? It like folded it like that. Cutting off circulation and shit. And it bit me, and it kept biting me and kept biting me, and I wouldn't put the shit down, but I was screaming in pain. And I'm like, what the fuck does this mean, bro? I woke up and I looked up. Something was telling me, look up what this dream means. I never did that shit before. I was like, look this shit up, right? I looked it up, and it told me that dream means betrayal. You feel like you've been betrayed. The same day I went to jail. You know what I'm saying? The same day that shit happened, bro. And it was me being spoken to. It was just like these last like 4 years especially, just been me climbing out of a pit, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, just climbing out of a pit, bro. And I feel like I'm finally at the top, and then coronavirus happens. It's like right now, it's just like the time, man. I feel like I'm getting so many visions, bro. Like I just like close my eyes, or I'll just go throughout the day, and I'll see things in my head, man. One of them is talking to y'all, bro. Like, I don't know what it is, man. It's like a calling. It's like a fucking, like, a must. Like, it's like a must. Like, I have to do this. I usually just come in on my breaks. I'll eat on the first one. The second one, I usually just chill, listen to music. I might take a nap. You know what I'm saying? I can't. Like, I just feel like I have to speak. There isn't anybody in my life I could really talk to about this. So it's not like I can just, you know, debate this or, you know, even just plant thoughts in somebody's head because they don't believe what I believe in. They believe some other shit. I wholeheartedly believe in this, in being, in, you know, existing with humanity. I feel like, you know, this is the purpose, bro. When I was at my weakest, I never thought like this. I never, like, had this confidence that I have now. I never had this state of mind, bro. It's changed my life. I went from, I used to be a Christian. I went from, you know, Christianity. I was an atheist at a point in my life, and that felt really dark and empty, not believing in anything. But I was a Christian. I was a slave to that wood. Pause. Pause. But y'all know what I mean, man. I was a slave to that cross, you know, and I followed things like a Christian did. And, you know, the last, like, 4 to 5 years, I've cut out pork. I don't eat that bullshit anymore. I haven't since I was 14. I don't eat that bullshit anymore. I treat people in a different way, man. I respect myself so much more. When you go through things, like, you have to be taught these lessons in order to grow. When you go through things, you will change or it will change you. There is no in between. That's it. It's one or the other. And I've always had, like, this get back up mentality. You know, like, I've always, like, get back on that horse type shit. Like, you got to. It's a must. I just would not allow myself to sit down and be kicked. I've been kicked all my life, bro. I wasn't gonna allow myself to continuously just be kicked and shit. I couldn't. So I would get back up. I would get knocked down harder. I would get back up, get knocked down even harder. And I stayed with it. This year, I've been hatching so many ideas, I've been unlocking so many things about myself I didn't even know, man. This isn't locked up right now. This is just me, you know, twisting it up and, you know, just letting it grow into twists, you know what I'm saying? But something told me, like, just grow your hair out, bro. Grow your facial hair out. Hit the gym. Speak to people. Pray. Meditate. I was fasting. Fast. Cut women off. I asked Yah. I told him right after my breakup, I said, look, take whoever you want out of my life. Get everything away from me that I don't need. And I swear to God, I don't recognize the people around me anymore. Like that. Flat out. I've learned to cope with my emotions. I've learned to express myself. I've learned to give insight to others because not everybody thinks like me. I used to mistake that so much, thinking that everybody had a heart like me, everybody had a mind like me, everybody had a voice, everybody stood for the same thing, but the truth is we don't, man. We don't at all. We don't. We only care about ourselves, and even then we don't care about ourselves. We don't love ourselves enough to respect it. We just care enough not to die. You know, and I look around and I see everybody. I see them in their phones. I see them talking about things that don't matter, being people that they don't need to be in the moment, worried about things that just blow my mind. Like, I see zombies. I see the Walking Dead among me, and I feel like I'm Rick Grimes in this motherfucker. I feel like the world is just falling to pieces, and we are humanity. Just a small circle of people that communicates through this phone, through emails, that reads, that does things that benefits them. I feel like we are the last of humanity. These other motherfuckers, I don't know where they're going. I don't trust them. It's a shame when you can't even trust the people in your community. It's a shame you can't walk down the street and hope to not get shot, hope to not get turned in, hope to not get snitched on. It's a shame that you can't even have decent conversations with people because they'll take what you say. They'll take what you say and not hear you, or they'll hear you but they won't feel you. Politically correctness stops all that, and that's why I say what the fuck I want. I cuss. I'm disrespectful. I'm whatever the situation calls for. I don't limit myself to other people's expectations, man. Basically, what I'm saying in this video is just change is coming, man, and we have to open ourselves up. We cannot just let it fold over us. You know, that RFID chip is coming. The end of the world is here, bro. They know things that we don't. Every day I gain this knowledge and I grow, but there's still things I don't understand. I'm human just like y'all, man. The things I don't get, there are things that I wish I didn't know. Honestly, there are days where I'm just like, I wish I was ignorant again. I wish I walked around like these motherfuckers and I didn't know what I knew. Because it's so much responsibility holding all this knowledge, bro. It's so much. I've been this way since I was 11. Put yourself in those shoes for me. I've been this way since I was 11. I've known all of this shit. Everybody's in class eating Go-Gurts and fucking watching YouTube and shit. I'm learning about the Satanic Church. I'm learning about the homosexuality in Hollywood. I'm learning about the sex symbols they put in TV. The devil worship. I'm learning this shit at 11, bro. You can say I didn't have a normal childhood. I didn't. And I'm not mad at that, but it's like I've known this shit forever and I've had to keep it to myself. This is the first opportunity with this channel that I have to spread to people. I remember I told one of my homies, bro, I was on the bus with him, and I was talking about, don't eat McDonald's, man. He's like, why? I told him, bro, they grind up children and put that shit in the food. He believed me. He actually believed me, bro. I was so surprised. He believed me. He went home and told his foster family. They looked at him like he's crazy, and they were like, that nigga's not allowed over here. They did not want to hear that shit. I remember I would have conversations with my mom about this shit. She's a bot, bro. There's no telling her shit, man. I remember I just tried to talk to her about the fucking dollar bill. That's a $5 bill. I tried to talk to her about the goddamn dollar bill. All I was saying was what this pyramid meant, what this eagle meant, what the eye in the pyramid meant, the words around it. She was screaming at me like, I don't want to hear that shit. I would sit up here and tell people things and they would reject me, and I would always feel embarrassed, outcasted, you know, like I felt like I had to retreat, like it was just me against the world. I felt that way since I was 9, bro. Ever since my father left the house when I was 9 years old, bro, I felt like it was just me versus everybody, versus the bullies, versus fucking the government. I had this ready to die mentality when I was that young. I was like, there was always an innate knowing that I would be doing something rebellious. You know, I always knew that this would be my life, that I would sit here and I would observe the world from a higher standpoint. That nigga look gay as hell with that shit. I don't know why he wearing it like that. I always knew that I would be looking at the world from a different lens. I always felt like it. I always felt like I would be in control of my life and nobody else would, man. I hated the authority growing up. I hated this shit. I hated getting orders from my parents, from everybody. It's not out of it's not a lack of love. It's just I like doing my own thing, bro. I don't like no. I hate when motherfuckers tell me this shit at the job. I hate that shit, man. I be ready to bang with niggas. I try to let that hood shit go because I can't walk in here and punch motherfuckers in the face, bro. That's how I get locked up. That's how I get chipped. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than me paying a fine. I know that they're chipping them niggas in the jails and the prisons. They're chipping them, performing experiments on them. I know. So it's more than that just keeping me out of prison. But I always knew that, you know, there was something more to me. Even when I was going through tragedy, I always knew, just keep my head up, I'll be alright. I remember the first time I ran away from home. I had like my fucking garbage bag full of clothes over my shoulder. I had probably 20 cents in change on me and like $10, like $30 to my name. And I was just following the North Star. That's all I knew. I knew I had to get to a house, but I had no cell phone. I had no way to tell time. I had no direction. I was reading maps on the street. I was just going north. I was walking the highway, you know, and I knew I'd be there in a couple of days. Sleeping wherever I could, you know, if it rained, it rained. Really a dark point in my life, but as an adolescent, I knew that it was better than my situation, and I knew that I would be okay regardless. And I had, for some reason, like when I roamed those streets, I had that Jay Electronica verse in my head from Exhibit C actually. I hear the voices of the angel telling me my name, telling me that one day I'ma be a great man, transforming with the Megatron, Dawn spitting out flame, eating whack rappers alive and spitting out chains. You didn't believe it then, nigga, I was homeless. I was fighting, shooting dice, smoking weed on the corners, trying to find the meaning of life in the corona. I had my weed on me too. That's all I had, bro. All I had to my name. You know, and the clothes on my back and the clothes in the grocery bag. That's it. And I have that choice between going back to my old life, starting a brand new one. I chose that day to go back to my old life. Thought long and hard about it, very long and hard. And I had to deal with the repercussions. I wasn't scared. I was just... Even though I hated my circumstance, I knew that having a roof over my head until I graduated high school, I knew that was a better choice than dropping out and sleeping in the streets. I would have if I really, really had to. But I knew that that was a better choice. Take care of yourselves, man. Put God first. Appreciate life. Dig deep into your heart and help somebody, man. You don't gotta make these videos like me, but a smile, a hug, a handshake goes a long way. Appreciate humanity. We're all we got, dog.